On June 15th, in Atlanta, the second-best team on Earth took 27 shots at one goal. Spain, reigning European champions. A bench so deep that the players who didn't start would walk into almost any other team at this World Cup. Pedri, Cucurella, Lamine Yamal, the teenager they call the future of the sport. 27 shots, 7 on target, 11 corners. 74% of the ball, and at the final whistle, the scoreboard read 0-0. Because standing in that goal was a 40-year-old man who, 2 weeks earlier, did not even have a club. A man whose actual day job, the thing he does to pay his bills, is working as an electrician. Look at him. He could be your neighbor. He could be the guy who rewired your kitchen. He is not a full-time footballer. Where he comes from, almost nobody is. His name is Vozinha. He plays for Cape Verde, a chain of 10 tiny volcanic islands with 500,000 people, the smallest nation that has ever reached a World Cup. This is the story of how an electrician shut out Spain, and why it took the world 40 years to notice a man his own island never doubted. Because what happened in Atlanta was no accident. To understand the man, you first have to understand the country, because Cape Verde should not be here at all. 10 volcanic islands off the west coast of Africa, 500,000 people, a place where a kid is more likely to dream of being a fisherman than a footballer, because there's almost no money in the game and almost no infrastructure to build a player. So the Federation, which has just 7 full-time staff and sells match tickets in local bakeries and gas stations, did something no one else was doing. They went hunting for talent in the one place it actually was: the diaspora. Cape Verdean families scattered across Europe for generations. And the tool they used to find them? LinkedIn, the job search website. The clearest case is a defender named Roberto Lopez. Born in Dublin, Irish mother, Cape Verdean father. He was playing part-time in Ireland and working a normal job when a message landed in his LinkedIn inbox, written in Portuguese, a language he didn't speak. He assumed it was spam. He ignored it. Months later, a second message came, this time in English. The national team wanted him. That LinkedIn message, the kind you and I swipe past every day, ended on a World Cup team sheet against Spain. That is how this team was built. Not bought, assembled, piece by piece, from people the football world had filed away and forgotten. And it worked. In qualifying, they faced Cameroon, 8 World Cups, a Manchester United goalkeeper in net, and beat them. 7 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss in 10 games. The smallest country in history to qualify. But qualifying was the easy part, because waiting for them in the group stage was Spain. Now, the goalkeeper. His real name is Josimar. His parents wanted to name him after a famous striker. The authorities wouldn't allow it, so he grew up with a nickname his grandparents gave him, Vozinha. It means, roughly, little granny. The kids who beat him on the pitch used to say he'd run home and complain to his grandmother. The name stuck for life. He didn't turn professional until he was 25. Too small, the scouts said. Passed over again and again. So he went where the game would take him: Angola, Moldova, Cyprus, Slovakia, Portugal's second division. Never a big club, never famous. At his current club, he wasn't even the starter. He sat on the bench behind a younger keeper. His contract was expiring. He had no team lined up for next season. 40 years old, no club. Market value, 50,000 euros. On the other side of the pitch stood a Spain squad worth more than 100 million. Everyone expected a massacre. The betting houses agreed. Most of us thought we'd see a hammering. From the first whistle, Spain came in waves. Shots from distance, crosses into the box, one-touch passing that has dismantled far better teams. Cape Verde defended with their nails and their teeth, and behind them, the little granny flew from post to post. A save off Pedri, a reflex stop that should have been a goal. He made 7 saves and would not break. Now, be honest with yourself for a second. If that exact performance had come from a 20-year-old at Real Madrid, we'd already be calling it the best goalkeeping of the entire World Cup. But it came from a 40-year-old electrician with no club. So which is it? The performance of the tournament? Or a fluke we'll forget in a week? Don't sit on the fence. Tell me below. Because what came after the whistle, nobody was ready for. When the final whistle blew, the tiny pocket of Cape Verde fans celebrated like they'd won the whole tournament. On the Spanish bench, nothing but faces of disbelief. And before I tell you how this story ends, here's the part that should stop you cold. I'll bet you this one fact is worth your like and your subscribe. In the second half, Spain played their trump card, the teenager, Lamine Yamal, the boy they call the future of football. 250 million euros on the move. Now look at the years. Vozinha turned professional in 2007, the year Lamine Yamal was born. The forward Spain sent on to break that goalkeeper had been alive exactly as long as the goalkeeper had been a professional. And the money. Yamal is worth 250 million euros. Vozinha is worth 50,000. That makes the kid 5,000 times more expensive than the man trying to stop him. 5,000 times. And he didn't get past. That's not an underdog story. That's the gap between what the world thinks it's paying for and what the world is actually getting. Because when the cameras found Vozinha after the game, the 40-year-old who had just stonewalled Spain broke down. He cried for the grandparents who raised him, the ones who gave him his name, gone years before they could see this. And he cried for his mother, who wasn't in the stadium either. She couldn't afford the visa to reach the United States in time. The most important night of her son's life, watched from an island in the Atlantic. Then the world moved. The night before that game, Vozinha had about 50,000 followers. Within hours, not days, hours, he passed 14 million. More than some of the biggest names in American sport. And within days, the United States granted his mother a visa. She is on her way to Miami right now to watch her son in person for the first time. A man his own profession overlooked for 15 years. The world spent 40 years deciding he wasn't worth watching. It took him 90 minutes to prove every single one of them wrong.